now 220 miles per hour, now 230, 240, struggling to keep this thing under control here. It's all over the place. These tyres are about to explode. 250. Hello there viewers, and welcome back to another video today, where today going to be doing something a little bit different to what I normally do, and we're going to be swapping around the engines from a 1937 Auto Union with a 2017 Ferrari F1 car. So yeah, should be a little bit of a laugh today, seeing what it's like to swap an engine from 85 years ago with an engine from what 4 years ago. So what we're going to do first then, going to be having a go in the Ferrari F1 car with the Auto Union engine in it. So without further ado, let's get to it. So the way I've been able to make this video is using an application called Assetto Corsa Car Tuner, which you would have seen hopefully in Jimmy Broadbent's recent video, link down in the description, go check it out if you haven't already. So yeah, use that application to swap the engines around between these two cars, and well, I mean, just listen to this. It's yeah, doesn't sound right, does it, having a what was essentially an aircraft engine in a race car. So I'm going to bring up a picture here on screen of the Auto Union so you can see it now. This is the car which I've nicked the engine from, and it was basically the F1 car of its day. It was very much a Formula car, raced in the Grand Prix back in the late 1930s, and so yeah, that is what I've taken the engine out of. So as I go on track here, just going to do a lap of Silverstone. So remember, this engine, 85 years old. It's an 85-year-old engine from a car, from, you know, a normal race car. And so, I mean, just look at this, listen to this. It's rather strange driving a 2017 Ferrari and hearing basically an aircraft engine. It's yeah, rather odd. The engine was a 6-litre V16 supercharged engine. Yeah, they didn't hang around back in the days with the engine sizes. The engine was absolutely enormous. Just a huge engine. Took up most of the car's weight, to be honest. And yeah, it was stupendously just stupid. Just a completely ridiculous engine. So as I come out of Luffield here then, and up through Woodcote, it's quite powerful. So you can see, I mean, obviously I'm not going as fast as I normally would be in an F1 car, but it's not hanging around this car. We're doing 150 through cops here. It's quite powerful, and in fact this car with this engine is quicker than an F2 car. It's quicker than a Formula 2 car. In fact, I'd say it's probably not far off the pace of an Indy car, and the engine's from 1937. Like, that's quite impressive if you ask me. Yeah, how an 85-year-old engine was this powerful. So yeah, this is a lap of Silverstone. And what we're going to head over to now is 1967 Le Mans. Okay, so you join me then for part 2 of the engine swap, and we are here now in the Auto Union Type C with the F1 engine in it. And well, I mean, just have a listen to this. It doesn't sound quite right, does it, having a modern day F1 car engine in a car which is this old. But without further ado, I'm going to jump on board with the car. Now, just a word of warning, this mod, I've had some issues with it. Reason being, this car is only meant to rev to 5,000 RPM, as you can see from the rev gauge in the centre of the screen. The engine, however, revs to 15,000 RPM, so that has caused some issues with the gearing, so I'm not going to get out of second gear today. Also, as I'm driving along, have a look in the top right hand corner at the tyre temperatures, especially the rear tyre temperatures. As you will see by the end of this, the rear tyres will be on fire and the car will be completely undrivable. And also have a look down in the bottom right at my pedal inputs. So there's my clutch, there's my brake, there's my throttle, and you'll also see the force feedback as well as I am driving along. Now, to get this car going, you have to give it a lot of revs to stop the thing from stalling, because the F1 engine is not designed to run at this lower revs. So let's put it into first gear. Let's try and get out of this pit lane. There we go, just about getting going. You can see we've got no acceleration right now. Power kicks in at about 60 to 70 miles per hour, and boy does it kick in when it does. So as we get up to 50 miles per hour, going through turn 1 here at Classic Le Mans, now 60, now 65, and yeah, now we've got power. Way! We're now into the power band. Let's do 100, going under the Dunlop Bridge, over the crest, now down towards turn 2. Just put it into second gear there just to get the car under control before I brake for the chicane. Now this car, with it being from 1937, doesn't have any brakes or any like grip, handling. No. What is that? Handling? No. It's got basically bicycle tyres and drum brakes, which essentially means it doesn't have any brakes. So yeah, as we light up the rears heading down to Tête Rouge, it's going to be quite interesting when we get onto the Mawson Straight in a second. Got 1000 brake horsepower and, like I say, no grip or brakes or anything for that matter, as the power kicks in once more in first gear. Or trying to keep control of the car here. Good job I have a direct drive wheel for this to help me keep control. I'm doing 150 miles per hour in first gear, now 160 as I put it up into second gear, and the rear tyres begin to, well, skyrocket in temperature, doing 200 miles per hour now on the Mawson Straight, now 210, now 220, now 225, now 230, now 235 miles per hour in a car from 1937, now 240, now 245, are we going to hit 250? Yes, we are. Yes, there's 250, and you know what, I think I'm going to brake, because there's a corner coming up in a second, and you know, in this car you do have to brake rather early for corners, so I'm just going to bring it down to a nice slow speed, down to 120 for this right-hander, to make sure I don't go flying off. Remember, my rear tyres are also on fire, they're at 90 degrees, so I don't have any rear grip whatsoever. And back it down into first gear. Yep, there was wheel spin there. Now going over the crest, going to get on the brakes as the car gets air then over that crest. Get down onto the brakes for Mulsanne, for the tyre hander. Don't want to end up in that sandbank on the outside there like so many drivers did back in the Le Mans 24 hours back in the days. Now I'm going to have to give it a bit of a clutch kick here to stop the thing from stalling, as that the turbos spool and the engine starts to get up to speed. Now doing 70, yep, there's the torque. Oh my goodness, nearly lost back in there. Gonna have to just give it half throttle, to be honest, in first gear, as those rear tyres are now on fire. Going through the right-hander, I don't think we can take the second part of this straight flat out. And can I take this flat out? Maybe. Gonna brake as well. Oh no, I think I braked too late here. Come on, slow down, Carl. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Just about slow down inside for Indianapolis. Through the right-hander, now into the left-hander. Slow right down, try not to stall the car through this left-hander. So this is the normal version of the 1937 Auto Union, but this is not the only version of this car that they made in this year. They also made what was known as the Streamline version for a circuit called Avis. So we're going to head over to there now and show you the car with the modern day F1 car engine in it. Okay, so here we are then at Avis. Now, just to give you a little bit of background information on this circuit, this track built in 1921, it was basically just a motorway. It was the world's first ever motorway actually that was built, and it was also used for motor racing and for car testing as well, especially for like land speed record attempts, that kind of thing, for just seeing how fast a car can go. So we are in the streamlined version of the Auto Union Type C here that was raced around the circuit in 1937 with the F1 car engine in it. And well, without further ado, let's get going. So this track, it's basically just one big long straight line with a couple of kinks in it, and then a hairpin at the end. You come back the other way, and then at the other end of the circuit you are presented with what was known as the Wall of Death. That was its actual name. It was called the Wall of Death, and you'll see in a few minutes time why it was called that. But first of all, we've got the difficulty of getting out of the pit lane, because like I say, this car is having problems with the gear ratios, trying to not stall the thing. So I'm going to give it some revs here. Try and get the thing off the line. There we go. Get the thing up to 30 miles per hour as I release the clutch. And yet you can see I've got barely any power right now as the engine builds up. In fact, I'm going to give it a clutch kick. Okay, so I've got up to 120 miles per hour now, and the revs, oh, it's just starting to kick in now. The engine power is just starting to kick in as the revs build up. Now 160 miles per hour, now 170. Oh, the power's starting to kick in, now 180. As the rear tyres are starting to get rather hot. Now 200 miles per hour. Struggling to keep the thing under control. That's the short version of the circuit. I'm just going past now the cut through for the shorter circuit. That was the more modern version of the track. But we're going to be doing the full 19km circuit today, as we're already doing 230 miles per hour. Now 235, now 240. Oh, trying to keep the thing under control. Now 245, and we're going uphill right now, by the way. Just you wait till we can turn around and go back the other way. Now 250, 255 nearly. I'm going to have to brake in a second for the hairpin at the end of the track. We're going to do 260 before we get to the hairpin. Yes, we are. 260 miles per hour. And I think I'm just going to start braking. I can't actually tell where the hairpin is. Basically, what I've learned from practice is if you can see the hairpin, you left it too late. The braking, you've left it way too late. So just going to back off it. So there's hay bales on the right there. They're like the braking boards. And the hairpin is just over this crest. It does creep up on you rather quickly, so I'm going to start braking, go over this crest, turn right, here we go. Here's the end of the circuit. In fact, I think I might have left this braking a little bit too late. No, just about got to slow down in time. Now going through the hairpin at the end of the circuit, going to head back the other way. So we just did 200 and what was it, 260, I think 2 miles per hour. So I'm going to have to clutch here again to get it up to speed. Let's see what speed we can do on the downhill section. Okay, so got it back up to 110 miles per hour now as we're heading back down the other way, down this essential motorway, down the Autobahn basically, as those tyres are very much on fire. Now already doing 180, 90, 200 miles per hour. I'm trying to keep the thing under control. It's still in first gear, by the way. This is the problems I'm having with the gear ratios in this car. Now 220 miles per hour. Now 230, 240. Struggling to keep this thing under control. It's all over the place. These tyres are about to explode. 250, 260, 265. This is a car, remember, from 1937, raced in Grand Prix, 270 miles per hour. I think we're going to hit 275, or are we? Yeah, 275. As we come towards the left-hand gig, are we going to hit 280 miles per hour? Surely not. 280 in a car from 1937. I don't think we're quite going to be able to here. We've got a right-hander coming up before we get onto the final stretch. 270, might you know. 279, 278, can we do 280 miles per hour in this complete mad machine? 1,000 brake horsepower in a streamlined car from 1930. Going to have to hit the brakes here because we've got a right-hander coming up. Hopefully I've left this braking in time, done it in time. Yeah, coming into this right-hander. Tyres are very much on fire as we come to the end of the lap here. You can see the pit lane on the left-hand side, and here you have the wall of death, as it was literally known. It is a 43-degree banked corner built purely out of bricks. No barriers or anything. I mean, just look at this thing. As I hit the top of it there. Fortunately, there's a virtual wall on the outside of that. But yeah, that car was a crazy, crazy car. Crazy corner, crazy circuit. And yeah, I hope you did enjoy watching that as we do a lap of Avis in the streamlined Auto Union Type C. Hope you did enjoy watching that. Do feel free if you want me to drive anything else kind of with an F1 car engine in it, or an F1 car with the car engine from something else in it. If you want me to do any more swaps, then do let me know down in the comment section. I have already tried a Pill P50 with an F1 car engine in it. Safe to say that didn't go very well. Yeah. 1,000 brake horsepower in the smallest car in the world. It may have been a little bit too much. The mod may have just had a bit of a meltdown and the car didn't go anywhere with the car just going at the start line. So yeah, do let me know if you do want to see me swap any other engines around. So feel free to like and subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I will see you all in the next video. So goodbye.